Now, from the makers of Cold Water Omo...
John Steed stood in his apartment, staring down at the body behind the settee.
Murder, mayhem, and mystery. Go out, leaving one body behind there, and come back to find another in its place. Corpses littering the living room. I don't know what the whole place is coming to.
Steed poured himself a large drink, and it was then that he noticed his tape recorder was open. There was a message scrawled on it. It read,
"Play me, please."
And so Steed did. And Emma Peel's voice said,
"Steed, sorry about the body, but he was too big to sweep under the carpet. Nothing on him to identify him, but I saw him earlier at B. Bumble and Company. That's the honey shop, by the way. I'll tell you about it later. Must buzz back to bumblebees. Bye for now."
The Avengers. John Steed and Emma Peel, The Avengers.
Once an Omo user, always an Omo user, because it gets out the worst dirt and stains. Mrs. Francis of Port Elizabeth found that Omo cleaned her husband's bathing trunks.
He used to come home and they'd be marked and splodged with tar and oil from our beaches. Well, he wanted to throw them away, so I said, well, he'd soak them overnight on cold water Omo. And the next day they were shimmering white again.
Cold water Omo cleans best. Over 1 million South African housewives have proved it.
Lux is the beauty soap chosen by beautiful film stars around the world. They choose Lux for its rich, moisturizing lather. Lux, a beauty treatment as you bathe.
Episode 4 of this story, in which John Steed and Emma Peel realize that a plot to assassinate a crown prince is part of The Fantasy Game. John Steed, pretending to be the dead undercover agent George Reed, had kept his appointment with Mr. Ponsonby Hopkirk and found that QQF stood for quite fantastic, an organization that more than lived up to its name. It was Hopkirk's own brainchild, an establishment where people could get rid of their inhibitions by acting out their fantasies. Steed had seen a mountaineer who wished to be Sir Edmund Hillary and a quaint gentleman who wished to be Napoleon. Steed had got away from the place before getting too involved, and returning to his own apartment, had found the body of Ronnie Westcott had been taken away as arranged, but in its place lay another dead man. His name was, or rather had been, Bernie, and he'd followed Mrs. Peel back there after overhearing her conversation with Mr. Bumble in the honey shop. In the life-and-death struggle that followed his attempt to shoot Mrs. Peel had lived and Bernie had died. And Mrs. Peel, as she told Steed on the tape, had gone back to Bumble's.
Hello? Hello, Mr. Bumble? Mr. Bumble? Oh, there you are, Mr. Bumble. I wonder if you could tell...
Mrs. Peel walked across the shop to the counter. Bumble sat behind it, propped up on his elbows, apparently dozing.
Mr. Bumble?
He was dead. Mrs. Peel was about to move away when she noticed a scrap of paper by the body. She picked it up and looked at it. It was headed...
Application form, the QQF Incorporated, 10 Beaver Street, name Vincent East. Worth a try, I suppose.
Vincent East, whose application form now rested in Mrs. Peel's handbag, was reporting back to his boss, Arcady, who was sitting on a couch in the health center manicuring his nails.
My dear Vincent, now what has happened to Bernie?
I don't know, Mr. Arcady. He's been gone a number of hours. He should have reported back by now. Well, he ought to have.
Ought? It would have been better had you attended to the girl yourself, Vincent.
Yes, Mr. Arcady, but you said that...
We'll give him 1 hour, no more. Then we must presume the worst and take the necessary action.
Yes, Mr. Arcady. QQF.
You are due there soon, are you not? Make haste then, Vincent, make haste. You mustn't miss your third fantasy, must you?
Mrs. Peel had no difficulty in finding the QQF, and pretending to be a newspaper woman, she quickly got in to see Mr. Hopkirk, who immediately outlined the function of the organization to her. Mrs. Peel listened in fascination.
Specific cases, you say? Mm-hmm. Well, I suppose my most ambitious fantasy to date was the sinking of the Titanic. Several of my staff had to be resuscitated afterwards.
Any failures?
Oh, never. Although the Titanic was nearly sabotaged by an elderly actress who claimed to have been in cavalcade and said Noel Cowles was far more satisfying, I ask you. Of course, my list of successes is enormous. Hannibal crossing the Alps, and very many assassinations, riding a Derby winner.
Assassinations?
Yes, we've had several of those. Very difficult, some of them.
Well, how can you go about an assassination? For our readers.
Well, first our client selects his victim. A VIP, perhaps, or an important businessman. Then we arm our client with this.
Hopkirk produced an automatic with a long snout and a telescopic sight on top.
Then we put him in a position to use it. We allow him to actually get his victim in his sights. And then...
Then?
Hopkirk brought the gun round to face Mrs. Peel. He pulled the trigger.
Then he has a fine photograph to commemorate the occasion.
Oh, I see. A camera gun.
Correct. It helps the client to get a great deal out of his system, and no one gets hurt. I can't tell you the number of mothers-in-law who've been harmlessly disposed of in this way.
I see. Now, Mr. Hopkirk, if I could know a bit more about your clients.
Clients?
Yes. Vincent East, for instance. I understand he is a client of yours.
Mrs. Peel, I regret that I am unable to discuss individuals. The ethics of my business, you understand. My lips are sealed.
Oh, but surely...
No. I must insist. It would be a betrayal.
Well, thank you anyway. Goodbye.
It's been a pleasure, Mrs. Peel. And if you should ever wish to join QQF, a fantasy, perhaps?
Thank you, Mr. Hopkirk, but I haven't yet exhausted reality. Goodbye.
As Mrs. Peel made her way out of one exit, a harem girl, working as an usherette, showed Vincent East in through another draped archway. Hopkirk immediately stepped forward.
Ah, Mr. Vincent, are we ready for our third fantasy? In a very nice, murderous mood? Today, I hope,
In the health centre, some time later, Mr. Arcady was having his neck massaged by a very attractive young blonde.
A little lower down, more to the right shoulder. That's it. That's beautiful. Now, you pass the telephone, please.
The girl left. Arcady put through a call. The girl resumed the massage. Arcady eventually got through.
QQF. May I speak, please, to Mr. Vincent East? Thank you. Yes, that feels easier. Now the left shoulder. That's it. Oh, hello, Vincent. Your bad news. Bernie has not returned. It's over an hour. Well, of course I know what it means. It's an awful blow, I know. But you will have to kill Hopkirk. Goodbye.
Mrs. Peel returned to John Steed's apartment and this time found him at home. Steed had changed his clothes, but his mood still remained gloomy.
Mrs. Peel, we're getting nowhere fast. Westcott, Reed, the man behind the settee.
And poor old Bumble. Where the devil does the honey fit in?
Down if I know. I went through all the jars in George Reed's cupboard, and there's nothing concealed in any of them.
Yet honey's got something to do with it.
Well, it's a sticky business altogether.
I mean, there must be a link somewhere. Why else would George Reed have sent you a jar?
I don't know, but one thing's for certain. Reed and Westcott weren't killed for jars of honey.
And then there's the QQF.
Yes, quite fantastic. We both had a go, and neither of us got very far there, did we? Now, why Ronnie signed on there came as a bit of a surprise. I can understand the harem bit. The other, to want to be that is a fantasy in itself.
Harem?
Yes, the part of the fantasy that Ronnie ordered.
Harem? Wait a minute. Bumble said something about the Bahrainian embassy. He made a delivery there. Iranian Embassy harem.
Iranian Embassy harem. 2 agents dead. You thinking what I'm thinking, Mrs. Peel?
Where's the newspaper, Steve?
There, on the side table. No chance to read it yet.
I'll get it. Gin prices to rise sharply. Mother won't like that.
Radio serial, disturbing influence. I'm not mad about that either.
Ah, here we are. Strict security arrangements at the Bahrainian Embassy. Crown Prince Ali arrives today. Steed? Hopkirk told me he often had to dream up an assassination.
Come on, Mrs. Peel.
And in the Arabian room at QQF, Hopkirk was not only holding the floor, he was pacing it.
Now, Mr. Vincent, let us rehearse it just once again.
Oh, if you insist.
Now, I am the Crown Prince Ali, and you, the murderer, are concealed, say, here. Now, come along.
Oh, very well.
You don't sound very enthusiastic, and we must have enthusiasm. Now, I am perhaps enjoying a quiet smoke.
Hopkirk picked up a hookah and began to draw the smoke through the long, flexible tube. The water in the bowl of the vase bubbled gently.
Now, you have not revealed yourself yet. The moment of surprise has yet to come. You hold your gun at the ready. The gun, Vincent. The gun on the table.
Vincent picked up the camera gun, and when Hopkirk half turned away, placed it back on the table and took a real gun from his belt.
Now then, choose your moment. And well, then up you pop. Now.
Right.
No, man. You're not putting enough into it. You won't get any satisfaction out of your fantasy unless you put something into it. Think murderously. Lift the gun a little bit higher. Your whole expression is too bland, too unconvincing for words. You wouldn't frighten a fly off the wall. Now fix me with your eye and think to yourself, I am going to kill him. I am going to kill him. Ah, much better. Much more realistic.
Vincent didn't even look at Hopkirk. He moved swiftly to the table and picked up the top file.
QQF Incorporated. Fantasy number 3. Subject, assassination of the Crown Prince Ali of Bahrain. Thank you, Mr. Hopkirk. Thank you for planning it all so nicely. Don't worry. I'll see it's all carried out to the letter.
And with a final heave on the spanner, Ronnie Miller finishes changing his flat tire in just 6 minutes, 32 seconds. Well done, Ronnie. You play any other sports?
I wash the car once in a while.
You look very fresh, Ronnie. What deodorant do you use?
Shield for Sportsmen, of course.
Why?
It works.
Shield for Sportsmen deodorant won't stick, sting, or stain. In aerosol or roll-on, it's made to keep sportsmen cool and dry. Think what it can do for you. There's no dirt that can stand up to the cleaning power of cold water Omo.
If you use cold water, Omo comes out very, very easily indeed.
Says Mrs. Sutherland of the Inniken. Once an Omo user, always an Omo user. It cleans best.
The Avengers. Listen every evening, Monday to Friday, to John Steed and Emma Peel, The Avengers, brought to you by the makers of Cold Water Omo.
And listen on Monday morning at 10 to the first episode of an intriguing new story, The White Oaks of Jalna.